Hello, and welcome back to our daily English talk.
Hi, everyone. We're so happy you're here today.
If you're new here, please click that subscribe button and like this video.
I'm Emma.
And I'm Roy. Didn't you know this is a place to practice listening and speaking with simple, real English?
Please help us by liking this video and subscribing. It really means a lot to us.
Today's topic feels a little different, but still very important. I imagine us sitting together at a quiet table, maybe with a cup of tea. The atmosphere feels calm and practical. This feels like a good time to talk about money and budget in English.
I feel that calm practicality too, Roy. Talking about money can feel uncomfortable for some people, but when we talk about it gently and simply, it becomes much easier. I want listeners to feel safe and relaxed right now.
Today's topic is how to talk about your money and budget in English. This is something many people need to do in daily life. We talk about money at home, at work, and sometimes with friends. Learning to talk about it calmly is very useful.
Yes, money is part of everyday life. Even if people do not talk about it deeply, they often talk about small things. They talk about spending, saving, or planning. These conversations happen naturally, so they are good practice for beginners.
Emma, when you hear the word budget, what feeling comes to you first? For me, it feels practical, not emotional. It feels like something that helps organize life. When I think this way, the topic feels less stressful.
I feel something similar. A budget feels like a plan, not a problem. It helps me feel more in control. When learners see budgeting this way, talking about money feels more neutral and calm.
That calm feeling is very important. Many learners think talking about money needs difficult words, but in real life, people often use very simple language. They talk about what they have, what they spend, and what they save.
Simple language works very well here. You do not need special financial vocabulary to talk about daily money matters. Clear and honest words are enough. That makes this topic very beginner-friendly.
When I talk about money, I usually start with general ideas. I talk about my daily spending or monthly planning. I do not start with numbers right away. This makes the conversation feel easier.
Starting with general ideas is a great habit. It gives you time to relax into the conversation. You can talk about habits instead of details. Habits are easier to describe and easier to understand.
Money conversations often begin with daily life. People talk about buying food, paying for transport, or saving a little money. These topics feel familiar. Familiar topics help English feel more comfortable.
Yes, daily spending is something everyone understands. You do not need to explain much. You can simply talk about what you usually do. That makes speaking feel natural instead of formal.
I also notice that when people talk about money, they often talk about balance. They talk about trying to save and trying not to spend too much. These ideas are easy to express with simple words.
Balance is a very common idea. You can talk about being careful or planning ahead. These ideas come up often in conversation. Beginners can practice these ideas without pressure.
Talking about money does not always mean talking about problems. It can also mean talking about goals. People talk about saving for something or planning for the future. This makes the topic feel more positive.
That positive side is important. When learners talk about money goals, English feels useful and meaningful. You are not just practicing language, you are talking about real plans in your life.
Right now, listeners can think quietly about their own money habits. You do not need to share them. Just noticing them is enough. This quiet thinking already connects English to real life.
Quiet reflection is a gentle way to practice. You are preparing your mind without pressure. Later, when you speak, words may come more easily because you already thought about the ideas.
Talking about money and budget is also helpful for listening practice. People usually speak clearly when talking about practical topics. The words are direct and repeated often. This helps beginners understand more.
Listening to practical conversations feels steady and calm. There is no rush. You can relax and follow the ideas easily. That relaxed listening supports better understanding.
Some learners feel shy talking about money because it feels personal, but you are always free to share only what feels comfortable. You do not need to give details. General talk is perfectly fine.
That choice is very important. You control how much you share. English practice should never feel uncomfortable. Talking generally about money habits is enough for learning.
I want listeners to remember that money talk is part of normal conversation. You do not need to avoid it. With simple English, you can talk about it calmly and confidently.
Confidence grows when you practice real topics like this. The more you talk about real life, the more useful English feels. That usefulness motivates learning.
In the next part, we will talk more about daily spending and saving habits. We will keep everything slow, clear, and practical. Please stay relaxed and continue listening with us.
Thank you for being here and listening so patiently. Take a slow breath and feel comfortable. We will continue our conversation about money and budgeting very soon.
As we continue into this part, I still feel that calm and practical atmosphere around us. It feels like we are gently organizing everyday life together. Talking about money in this way feels steady and useful, not stressful. This is a good moment to focus on daily spending habits.
I feel that steadiness too, Roy, and it makes me feel comfortable. Daily spending is something everyone experiences. Because it happens every day, it feels natural to talk about. Beginners often feel more relaxed when the topic feels familiar.
When people talk about daily spending, they often start with small things. They talk about food, transport, or small purchases. These are easy topics because they are part of normal routines. You do not need special words to describe them.
Yes, small spending feels easy to explain. You can talk about buying food, paying for travel, or getting something you need. These actions are simple and clear. That simplicity makes English practice feel smooth.
I usually talk about my spending in a general way. I might say that I try to be careful or that I spend more on certain things. I do not need to explain every detail. General language keeps the conversation relaxed.
General language is very helpful for this topic. You can share ideas without numbers. You can talk about habits instead of amounts. Habits are easier to describe and easier to understand.
Many people like to talk about saving money as well. Saving does not need to sound serious or complicated. You can talk about saving a little or trying not to spend too much. These ideas feel very natural.
Saving money is a common goal for many people. When learners talk about saving, they often feel responsible and practical. Talking about this in English feels meaningful because it connects to real-life decisions.
When I talk about saving, I focus on intention, not perfection. I might say that I try to save when I can. This kind of language feels honest and calm. It removes pressure from the conversation.
That honest tone is very important. You do not need to sound perfect. You only need to sound real. Real language feels easier to speak and easier to understand.
Some people also talk about budgeting as a way to plan ahead. They talk about planning for the month or thinking about future expenses. These conversations often use simple time words. That makes them beginner-friendly.
Planning language feels very practical. Words about time and routine help organize ideas. Beginners often feel more confident when conversations follow a clear structure like this.
Talking about money also includes talking about limits. People often say they cannot spend too much or they need to be careful. These ideas are common and easy to express with simple English.
Yes, talking about limits feels very natural. Everyone has limits. When learners talk about them, they're sharing something very human. That makes the conversation feel honest and relatable.
I also noticed that money conversations often include comparison. People compare now and before, or this month and last month. These simple comparisons help explain changes without needing complex language.
Comparisons are very useful. You can say things feel easier or harder than before. These phrases help describe experiences clearly. Beginners can use them without stress.
Talking about money does not always mean serious conversation. Sometimes people talk about it casually. They might mention saving money or spending a little more than usual. This casual tone makes the topic feel lighter.
Casual tone helps reduce fear. When learners feel that money talk doesn't need to be formal, they relax. Relaxation supports better speaking and listening.
Right now, listeners can think quietly about one daily spending habit they have. It could be something small and simple. Thinking about it in English is already practice.
Quiet thinking helps connect language with experience. You are preparing your mind gently. Later, when you speak, the words may come more easily.
Talking about daily spending also helps learners practice explaining choices. People often explain why they spend or save. These explanations can be very simple and still clear.
Explaining choices helps conversations feel deeper. Even short explanations add meaning. Beginners can practice this with simple sentences and calm tone.
I want listeners to remember that talking about money is not about numbers. It's about habits, plans, and feelings. Simple English works very well for these ideas.
That reminder helps remove pressure. You do not need to be exact. You only need to be clear. Clarity is more important than detail in conversation practice.
As we move through this part, I hope listeners feel more comfortable with daily money talk. It's a normal part of life, and it can be discussed calmly and simply in English.
I hope listeners feel that comfort too. You are building useful English for real situations. In the next part, we will talk more about money goals and planning for the future. Please stay relaxed and continue with us.
As we move into this part, I feel that our conversation has become even more comfortable. It feels like we are sitting together and calmly looking ahead. Talking about money now feels less about daily spending and more about gentle planning. This is a good moment to talk about money goals and the future.
I feel that calm, forward-looking feeling too, Roy, and it feels encouraging. When people talk about money goals, they often feel hope mixed with care. It does not need to feel stressful. It can feel thoughtful and steady.
When people talk about money goals, they often talk about saving for something important. It could be a trip, a home, or simply feeling more secure. These goals can be shared in very simple language. You do not need big words to express hope.
Yes, saving goals are very common in conversation. People often say they want to save more or be more careful. These ideas are easy to understand and easy to say. Beginners can talk about them without pressure.
I notice that when I talk about future money plans, I speak in a soft and open way. I do not say everything is fixed. I talk about what I hope to do or what I am trying to do. This language feels flexible and kind.
That flexible language is very helpful. The future is not certain for anyone. When learners talk about money plans with openness, English feels more natural. You are not promising anything. You are just sharing intention.
Planning a budget is often about balance. People talk about spending less on some things and saving more on others. These ideas come up often in real conversations. They are practical and easy to describe.
Balance is a very relatable idea. Many people want to enjoy life, but also be careful. Talking about this balance feels honest and human. Beginners can express this with very simple sentences.
Some people also talk about changing their money habits. They might say they want to be more careful or plan better. Talking about change does not need to sound serious. It can sound gentle and realistic.
Talking about change can actually feel motivating. You are not talking about mistakes, you are talking about growth. English becomes a tool for reflection, not judgment.
I also notice that money goals are often connected to feelings. People talk about wanting to feel safe or less worried. These feelings are very common and easy to share in simple English.
Feelings are a big part of money conversations. When learners talk about how money makes them feel, conversations become more meaningful. You do not need numbers to express emotions.
When people talk about budgets with others, they often keep things general. They do not share exact details. They talk about being careful or planning ahead. This kind of general talk feels polite and comfortable.
Yes, general language protects privacy. Beginners should know that they never need to share exact amounts. Talking generally is normal and accepted. This helps learners feel safe speaking English.
Money planning conversations also happen at work sometimes. People talk about costs or planning carefully. In these situations, clear and simple English is very important. Simplicity helps avoid confusion.
Clear English is especially useful in work settings. Simple words reduce misunderstanding. Beginners often communicate more effectively when they keep language simple and calm.
Talking about money goals can also include talking about priorities. People decide what is important to them. These priorities guide spending and saving. Talking about them helps English feel connected to values.
Values give meaning to money talk. When learners talk about what matters to them, English feels personal and real. That connection helps language stay in memory longer.
I want listeners to remember that money goals do not need to be big. Small goals are just as important. Talking about small steps feels achievable and calming.
Small goals reduce pressure. When goals feel realistic, speaking feels easier. Beginners often feel more confident talking about small plans than big ones.
Right now, listeners can quietly think about one small money goal they have. It could be saving a little or planning more carefully. You do not need to say it out loud. This quiet reflection is already practice.
Quiet reflection helps organize thoughts. When you later talk about money, your ideas feel clearer. English flows more easily when your thoughts are already prepared.
Talking about money planning also helps learners practice future language. Simple future ideas like planning or hoping come up naturally. These ideas are useful in many conversations, not only about money.
Yes, future talk appears everywhere. Practicing it with money topics makes it feel practical and real. Beginners can reuse this language in many situations.
I hope listeners feel that talking about money goals can be calm and respectful. You do not need to sound serious or strict. Gentle language works very well here.
I hope listeners feel that too. Money conversations do not need to create stress. With simple English, they can feel supportive and thoughtful.
As we get closer to the final part, we will talk about ending money conversations politely and confidently. We will also talk about feeling comfortable with this topic overall. Please stay relaxed and continue listening with us.
Thank you for staying with us and listening so patiently. Take a slow breath and feel calm. We will finish our conversation about money and budgeting very soon.
As we arrive at the final part of our conversation, I feel a calm sense of closure. It feels like we have talked through money step by step, without rushing or pressure. The topic no longer feels heavy. It feels practical and manageable. This is a good place to talk about ending money conversations with confidence.
I feel that calm closure too, Roy, and it feels reassuring. Ending a conversation about money politely and comfortably is an important skill. When you end calmly, the whole conversation feels balanced and respectful. I want listeners to feel confident about this moment.
I think in real life, money conversations often end naturally. People may say they will think about it or plan later. These endings do not need strong or final statements. Simple words can close the conversation gently.
Yes, gentle endings feel very natural. You do not need to decide everything in one conversation. Saying you will think about it or plan later is very common. This kind of language feels calm and polite.
When I end a money conversation, I usually focus on appreciation and clarity. I might acknowledge the conversation and move on. This helps both people feel comfortable. Simple phrases are enough for this.
Appreciation softens the ending. Even a small, polite response can leave a good feeling. Beginners can use this approach easily without worrying about complicated language.
Sometimes people worry that talking about money makes them sound negative or serious. But when you speak calmly, money talk feels neutral. Ending calmly reminds everyone that it is just part of daily life.
That reminder is very important. Money is not something to fear in conversation. With simple English and calm tone, it becomes just another topic. Comfort grows with practice.
I also want to talk about confidence again. Confidence in money conversations does not mean sharing details. It means knowing what you are comfortable sharing and staying within that space.
Setting that boundary feels empowering. You are in control of your words. Beginners should remember that they never need to explain more than they want. General language is always acceptable.
Talking about money and budget in English can also build confidence for other topics. Once you handle a practical topic like this, other conversations feel easier. English becomes more useful and real.
Practical topics build strong foundations. When learners can talk about daily life clearly, they feel more capable. That feeling spreads to other areas of communication.
Looking back on our full conversation, we talked about daily spending, saving, planning, and goals. Each part used simple, calm language. This shows that even sensitive topics can be discussed gently in English.
I hope listeners see that clearly now. You do not need advanced vocabulary to talk about real life. Simple English is powerful. It allows honest and respectful conversation.
I want listeners to remember that money conversations will feel easier with time. The first time may feel awkward, but that feeling fades. Practice brings familiarity, and familiarity brings calm.
Calm is the key word here. When you feel calm, words come more easily. Money talk becomes just another part of conversation, not something to avoid.
Right now, listeners can take a moment to notice how they feel about this topic. Maybe it feels lighter than before. That change matters. It shows growth and comfort with English.
That feeling of comfort is something you can build on. The more you use English for real topics, the stronger that comfort becomes. You are making progress, even when it feels quiet.
I also want to remind listeners that everyone's money situation is different. English practice is not about comparison, it is about communication. Sharing generally is always enough.
Yes, comparison is not needed. Your experience is valid. English helps you express your own life, not match someone else's. That understanding reduces pressure.
As we close, I feel grateful that we could talk about money in such a calm and respectful way. It shows that English learning can support real life, not just classroom topics.
I feel grateful too, and I hope listeners feel supported. You are learning useful English that you can apply immediately. That kind of learning stays with you.
As you return to your day, you may notice small money-related moments. You might think about spending or saving. Thinking about these moments in English is already practice.
English does not need special time or space. It can live inside your daily thoughts. Money and budgeting give you many chances to practice naturally.
Thank you so much for staying with us through this full conversation about money and budgeting. We hope it helped you feel more comfortable and confident with this topic in English.
Thank you for listening and practicing with us. Take a deep breath and feel proud of yourself. We look forward to meeting you again very soon. Goodbye for now.